Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Fatima Hodge.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Brother David Hodge.
Welcome. All right, sisters and brothers. Today we're going to highlight the total economic collapse that's going to take place right here in America and how it's going to affect black men and women. That is right here in America. All right, sisters and brothers. So first, we can start off with identifying the experience of the black man and woman of America. Now, when the experience of the black man and woman of America is brought up, they identify it as slavery, sisters and brothers. Slavery is what they describe our experience was. Now, sisters and brothers, really understanding the meaning of slavery, right? That just means maximum profit, minimum overhead, right? So, at the end of the day, everyone here working for America's corporation, right, is in fact a slave, right? So that does not identify the experience of the black man and woman. That was only 1% of our experiences and brothers. And the other 99, they leave out. Why is that? Because, sisters and brothers, our true experience was horror. It doesn't identify being raped, beaten, tortured, hung, burned alive, our babies being thrown to alligators, separation from your family. None of these things are highlighted in the definition of slavery. So when they say, "Oh, we're all slaves," everybody went through slavery, that's not what we're identifying. We're identifying the experience of the black man and woman of America, which was horror, sisters and brothers. Now, it tells you right here in the scriptures exactly what our nation would go through, right? Now, it reads, "And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation they shall come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full." All right, sisters and brothers, so we're focusing on the beginning here where it identifies the horror, the vision of horror, right? That Abraham had, right? A vision of horror, sisters and brothers. And that's exactly what our experience was, right? Not slavery, sisters and brothers. Like I said, that's just 1% of our experience. The other 99 was horror, affliction, right? And it said, he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs. Now, sisters and brothers, the black man and woman were taken from their land, brought to here, America. So this is identifying us again. We would be in a strange land. This is not our land, sisters and brothers. And we are here in this land, right? So this is a strange land to us, right? And it said we would be sojourners in this land, which is highlighting that we will be in this land temporarily, right? Not forever. Now, and it also identifies that we shall serve them, right? Which is, like I shared, slavery. And they shall afflict them. This is the part, the other 99%, that they do not highlight and talk about. Because if they were to identify the affliction of our nation, they would surely be looked at as monsters, sisters and brothers. And they want to keep that image that they have in your mind, sisters and brothers, that they're great, good people. Good, loving people, right? That's not who they are, sisters and brothers. They are devils. They are monsters. And their actions prove exactly who they are, sisters and brothers, right? And this year, after 400 years, will I judge that nation whom they served, right? And that's exactly what took place, sisters and brothers. We were brought here in 1555, sisters and brothers, right? Took it from our land, brought to this strange land, right? In 1555. When they brought us here, we had our minds, right? We knew who we were. So it took them 64 years to strip us of all that, right? Turn us into slaves. And the first Negro bot was produced in 1619, sisters and brothers. So 64 years from 1555 brings you to 1619, which was the start of our servitude, sisters and brothers, right? Of the 400 years was the beginning in 1619, right? Now, that 400-year mark ended in 2019, right? And this year is after 400 years of being in this strange land. Will I judge that nation whom they serve, right? So that means it's telling you something here. It's telling you the judgment will begin, right? After 400 years, after 400 years of us being here, right? And that's exactly what took place, sisters and brothers. 400-year mark ended 2019. 2020 came right in with their judgment. The judgment began in 2020, sisters and brothers. And that's a year that no one will ever forget because America has not been the same since. You had COVID-19, that virus that was going around that was killing them. And as Exodus says, it will pass over those with the lamb's blood. But it'll kill them, right? So who did it pass over, sisters and brothers? Why'd they shut down their whole economy? Because of this. Because they were dying. So that clearly tells you that it didn't pass over them. That clearly tells you that they're not those with the lamb's blood. But it did pass over the black America. Why? Because we are in fact those with the lamb's blood. Black man and woman of America, right? So we have to understand that they were doing everything that they could possible to make sure that you were also affected by this. They put vaccines on every corner, every store. Told you couldn't work. Told you couldn't fly. Told you couldn't go into certain stores without this vaccine, right? And this was because they wanted to give you that virus, sisters and brothers, make sure that they were not the only ones dying from this virus, sisters and brothers. But we know that the scriptures are being not what I say not the scriptures are taking place, sisters and brothers, exactly how it said would take place. And they're trying to change that narrative, right? Because they know that they're those people. It said that, will I judge? And afterward, shall they come, excuse me, sisters and brothers, and also that nation whom they shall serve, will I judge? So their judgment began right on time, sisters and brothers, right on time. And they freaked out, sisters and brothers. They read the scriptures, right? They understand that this is a guidance, that these things are happening now, right? We're living out the scriptures. But they tell you and mislead you and tell you that these things are past tense. These things already happened. This is all to destroy your mind, sisters and brothers. This is all to destroy our nation, sisters and brothers, because they don't want you to have that guidance, that light that you need to be successful. They don't want you to have your vision, sisters and brothers, which is the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers. They don't want you to find out these things. They don't want you to start questioning. What does this thing mean? What does this thing? Why do we meet these descriptions? They don't want you to question these things, because then they'll be exposing. But then at that point, you'll be thinking, and they don't want you to think, sisters and brothers. That's the point. To keep you in the unknown, keep you beneath them, right? Not thinking, right? So you have to understand that I forgot the point I was making, that these devils are on a mission for our destruction, sisters and brothers. They want to wipe us out, sisters and brothers. And we have to understand that their time is coming to an end, right? So they're doing everything in their power to keep it going, right? And one of those things is keeping you in the unknown, sisters and brothers, right? Keeping your minds outside of reality, right? Have you thinking things are spooks and spirits, right? Heaven is the place where you go when you die. Hell is the place where you go when you die. Your vision is the American dream. Keeping your vision under a dream, which is not a vision, sisters and brothers, is a dream, right? But you're trying to achieve this dream, right? Because you don't have that vision that you need, right? And they did this all to destroy you, sisters and brothers. Devils are physical people. Demons are physical people, sisters and brothers. Angels are physical people. Gods are physical people. Sisters and brothers, nothing is spooks and spirits, sisters and brothers. Heaven is a place on earth. Hell is a place on earth. Sisters and brothers, you're in hell right now. Experiencing, like I share, horror, affliction. That's exactly what would happen in hell, right? And the white man's hell is, in fact, excuse me, sisters and brothers. The white man's heaven is, in fact, the black man's hell, right? And that's exactly what's taking place. This is their heaven, sisters and brothers, right? This is their reality. And we are in hell, sisters and brothers, right? And it's a place right here in America, sisters and brothers, hell. This reality is hell for us. So we have to understand that these things are not somewhere you go when you die. If that's the case, they wouldn't be living in mansions, having nice homes, nice cars. All these things that they have, they're able to relax, live, sit back, not do anything, watch you, right? while you do all the work. This is their heaven, sisters and brothers, on earth. And we have to understand that our heaven is in fact on earth, not when we die, sisters and brothers. They tell you that so you think that this is never going to end, right? Like I shared, they're attempting to keep their reality going, right? So they keep you in the mindset that this reality will never end, right, sisters and brothers? But that is in fact false. And you have a vision, sisters and brothers. And your vision is the Abrahamic covenant. And your time is approaching, which is the spring, sisters and brothers. Global warming is not for you to fear, but they fear because that means their reality is melting. And they're winter people, right? So what happens when the heat hits ice? It starts to melt, right? And that's exactly why they are attempting to destroy us, sisters and brothers, to keep their reality going. So they don't have to experience hell, because we understand that the black man's heaven is a white man's hell, right? Caucasian man's hell, the devil's hell, right? So we have to understand that their hell is coming. So you think that anybody just want their hell to come? No. So they're doing everything in their power to keep it from coming, right? Holding it back. But they can't stop how the universe works, sisters and brothers. It's 4 seasons. In the winter, it's coming to an end. And after winter is spring, sisters and brothers. And the spring is your time. And you have a vision, sisters and brothers, which is, in fact, the Abrahamic covenant.
Exactly. And that's exactly why they keep this Abraham covenant from you. Because they don't want you to have a vision. They say the people without a vision will perish. And that's exactly what they want for you, brothers and sisters. They want you to perish. They want you to go away. They want to get rid of you because you are the evidence of their crimes. You are the reason why they're under judgment for the treatment of the black men and women of America. So by not giving you your vision, you will perish. And they're hoping that their judgment will disappear along with it. Because like the sister shared, the black man's heaven is the devil's hell. So our vision, which is the Abraham covenant, is their hell. Because in order for us to receive these things, they must receive hell. That means that judgment is upon them. That means our reality is coming in. That means that America is going to be destroyed, right? Because before we return, that's what's going to take place. The destruction of America, the vengeance and payback, wrath, all these things that's going to rain down on America because of what they done to you. And that's why they're trying to keep you asleep from finding out about these things. Like Sister said, keep you dumbed down, keep you under their level of thinking, keep you from thinking, because that's what a war is. It's in thinking. So if they can get you to beat yourself up, then there you go. Problem solved. They'll destroy themselves. We don't even have to do it. They'll do it to themselves because they don't have any control over us. They don't have that. They don't have that control anymore, brothers and sisters. So what do? They get you to destroy yourself. So that's why they don't want you to start thinking. Then you start using the ammunition that you're shooting yourself with to shoot them. Right? That means that now that you'll start to destroy them instead of destroying yourself and your own people. You'll wake up and realize that you have a second option. which is the Abraham covenant. Here in Genesis chapter 15, verse 18, it says, "In that day God made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates." All right, brothers and sisters. So between these two coordinates is our land that God said he would give to us for the 400 years of servitude and affliction, which is Arabia. And they don't want you to know that you have a second option, brothers and sisters, which is getting out of here, which is getting the reward that you deserve, which is your inheritance for this 400 years of hell that you've endured, that no one thought that you would endure. But you did. And you're just that close to the finish line, brothers and sisters. And the devil's plan is to eliminate you, because he do not want you to be successful in achieving that vision, because that means his vision goes out, his heaven goes away. I mean, hell is approaching, judgment is approaching, the time is ticking, the end of their rule is done, and now they become made miserable, and now they're due judgment, which they're trying to eliminate. They're trying to escape, but we know it's impossible. Like the sister shared, 4 seasons. Winter's over. Now they're melting. And the people that's going to cause them to melt is waking up, realizing what's taking place, picking up their spring weapons, firing back. And the winter is already over. But they're altering and making, what do you call these things? Like, they're trying to stop things from melting by altering and changing things to prevent it from taking place, to slow it up. But here you are, now getting the information to be successful, to leave here, find out what they're doing to you. Now you're finding out. Now you're fighting back, right? So now, something that they was trying to prevent, they're trying to prevent it, right? Because like you said, it's coming in. So they're trying to stop it from happening, but it's impossible, right? Because it's a new time. It's a new season. And they can't move into the next season because they are literally the personification of winter. So it's not like they can go into the spring, because they are literally winter people. So that's the point of them trying to keep the winter alive. Because if the winter go away, then so do they. But good thing we were just individuals who adjust to the winter for the time. That's what we had to do. Like the sister shared, we had coats, gloves, hats. We adjusted to these things, to this habitat. We adjusted to our surroundings in the condition that we would need to be in to be successful during that time. But now we're coming out of that time. We no longer need these things. Now these things are against you. Now you're realizing that, hey, it's springtime, and I actually like it here. And these are the weapons you need to be successful and to fight against those who try to prevent you from getting your reward, prevent you from leaving, who said you'll be a fool and stay here in the land of your imprisonment. See, that's what they want for you. They want you to be destroyed along with them. Said that they were desperate. That they was envious of you because you was going out to go make paradise. And they was to receive hell. And they've had it good their whole lives while you was miserable and received hell constantly, 24/7, all year round. And they never wanted anything for you. So imagine that. Can you imagine the people who had everything and never wanted you to have anything? And here you going off to go get heaven, to go make paradise that will last forever. The kingdom, you going off to a kingdom that will last forever. And things get better and better and better while they're about to receive hell. Like you said, no one wants to receive hell. No one wants that. So they're fighting hard to keep their reality going and thriving. And that means putting you out, taking you out, getting rid of you. Like she said, boom, 2020 came, they knew exactly what time they was in. Because the scripture is guidance. We're living out the scripture. And they have a plan. You see? They said the devil planned. But it said Allah was the best of planners. So they're trying to keep you from being that best of planners. They're trying to prevent your plan. Because like I said, it's not that they plan could not be successful. It's the fact that you planned against them. And it says your plan was the best plan. So they're trying to get you to not remember that you are the best planner. That you had a plan that was better than theirs. So they're trying to move out on their plan first. Get you not to operate. Get you not to realize that you have your own operation system. Your own, you had your own superior mind that make you believe that this is the only time that their level of thinking is the highest level. But we go much higher, brothers and sisters. And it said high pressure defeats lower pressure. That's what it is. So that's why they're trying to keep your level of thinking low, so they can continue to eliminate us. So they can continue to be the ones over you, in charge of you. Because they don't want, because the higher you go, the more they lose control of you. They can't control you anymore. You see? So guess what they do? They deal shrewdly with us in a way that we don't see coming. He said, come, let us deal shrewdly with them, lest they multiply. And if war breaks out, they join our enemies and fight against us and escape from the land. See? They're afraid we multiply and escape. They really don't want us to leave. Like she said, they need you. They used you. They exploited you. They did all these things. Like she said, max profit, minimum overhead. Capitalism, which is slavery. You see? That's the foundations of America. It was built off slavery, which is capitalism. And they need you. They need you. They need to control and manipulate and cause your misery for their system to thrive. You see? And they know what they did to you. So they're afraid that you'll leave out and join their enemies in war and fight against them. You see? That's why they don't want you multiplying. That's why they put you in prison. That's why they give our women sterilizations, abortions, birth control, stop us from reproducing. They know that population is potential power. That people, we all come together, have the same vision. They know that they're in trouble, and we all headed the same direction. You see, all moving in the same. Got the same mind. Got the same mindset. Get a new mind, then have the same. You see what I'm saying? All move in the same direction, headed for their destruction. That's what they don't want. You see? A whirlwind to tear their ass up. For you to be thinking properly, right? Do unto them as was done to you. Say eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. See, they want you to think like that. That's what they fear. That's why they be jumping, hopping when they see black people. They say that we're cruel, we're evil. Oh, they scared me. They this, they that. We did nothing to you. It's everything that you did to us. Because you're guilty. You see? And that's exactly what they are. A bunch of guilty people of the crime they committed against God's people. And he said that he would judge them. And the judgment's not over. He said to them, let my people go. But they wouldn't. So guess what they did? They made the situation worse for themselves. It was better for them just to let us go. To start releasing us. Start telling us what's going down. Telling us what they did. And then start to transport us back to where we belong. Make things right. You see, lessen the degree of their consequence. Help them out, right? It's just helping y'all out. You see, but they intensified it. Just like just like we didn't react. And we damned with their consequence. Now here they are. They damming it up some more. By preventing us from leaving. You see? And that's gonna cause them to be in a world of trouble. Because as I explained, high pressure eliminates low pressure. And we're gonna become that high pressure here soon. So they're gonna end up tearing themselves up, trying to hold on to a blade. You see, gonna slice themselves all up, but they don't realize that they can't see it. They can't. It's too good to be true. You see, but either way it go, they have nothing to lose anyway, because they're on their way out. So it said they'll reach out from their grave to take you with them. That's their last desperate attempt. You see, to take you with them, to eliminate you completely. It's to the point where they're trying to move their consciousness into robots just so they can live forever. And so they can get rid of judgment, get rid of you. They know they don't have the body for it to move on to the next reality. So they're trying to build in a robotic, you see, they're trying to get mechanical sleeves and robots and move to that direction, a direction you can't afford. But they can. And they move all these memories and everything to a cloud and upload it into the consciousness of the robot and move their selves there just so they can stay alive, so they can move forward into the next reality, so they can try to so they can try to escape judgment. But we know every action has an opposite and equal reaction. It says action equal reaction. It says no one's exempt from consequence. So no matter what they do, it said all things will fail. You see? So whatever their plan is, that's the secret. Shh. It's gonna backfire. Boom. It's gonna blow up right in their face. So no matter what they do. And that was the evidence of their failure was when 2020 came in. Like the sister said, they got hit with it. Boom. They were trying to use that to eliminate us. Everything they do was trying to eliminate us. And that backfired on them. And it killed all their people. Right? But it passed over Black Africa. It passed over the black men and women of America. The original black men and women of America. You see? But it's killing their demon children. It was killing individuals who look like me and you, but they wasn't us. You see? It was that black-faced children and those who was careless with their health. But it passed over us, and it didn't pass over them. So that's when they knew they was in trouble. They was panicking, rushing to eliminate you. Just so they can, like you said, they're trying to, we're living out scripture. So they have to go out, they have to go with their plan. You see? They got to make it work for themselves because that's their guidance. That's their storyline. That's the way they wanted to, that's how they wanted to play out. You see? So that's the way that that's what they're aiming for. Their success. And part of their success is stealing your identity. And that's exactly what they've done. They went totally bankrupt to successfully steal your image. And they placed individuals in your place to claim as you. But they don't even fit the Abraham's vision. They're not even in the land that the covenant would say they would be in. Any of those things. They're just total imposters. You see? And the world's blessing them and cursing us. You see? They said that this is what they would do. They would go this far, like I said, just to fit the scriptures. Just to right. This is, like I said, this is their guidance. They're just following it the way that their intention, for their benefit. So they can come out on top. You see? So they can make their heaven last longer. So they can say, see, there they are. There go God's people. They're right there, sitting in Palestine. You see? And then here we come. But it said God's people be in Arabia. They hate people like us. Go away. You see? They trying to swat us. They don't like people like us. They didn't say that God's people be enslaved and afflicted. But didn't it say that false Israel, they were never in bondage to any man? You see? And then they go through the Holocaust for less than 10 years at the hands of something that they did to themselves because they betrayed their own country. You see? So what they had coming to them was just because they were traitors. You see? They tried to play their sympathy card like it was poor them. No, they betrayed their country. And everybody know what happens to traitors. You eliminate them. And that's what was taking place until they found out who the black men and women of America was. And they established them in their land in 1948. And as soon as they found out, they stopped burning them up and placed them right in there to counter our claim as being a true seed of Abraham. So that's what they've been doing. It says Satan would masquerade as an angel of light, claiming to be something he's not. You know, those people, and that's exactly what they're doing. Claiming to be something they're not. And the angel tells you exactly who they are. In Revelation chapters 2 and 3, verse 9, both chapters. It says you hear. It says, look, I am giving out a synagogue of Satan. Or the ones saying themselves Jews to be and not they are, but they are lying. And it says, in the blasphemy, which is a lie, are the ones saying Jews to be themselves and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan. So it's clear. There's Satan. Synagogue of the Satan. The ones who call themselves Jews, they're lying. There's Satan. The ones who have synagogues, there's Satan. The Jewish people. Why they Jewish? Because they wish they was Judah. But they're not. They're implying that they're original tribe from the tribe of Judah. But they're not. They wish they were original. But they're the seed of the devil. You see? They're not God's chosen people. They're the opposite. They're the Antichrist. They're against God. They're Satan. You see? And they're going to be destroyed. You see? And that's when it's going to be made manifest who they are once they're destroyed. And that's a shock. You see? Shock of the hour. You see? The millions of men's hearts have failed them from fear. And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. Men will be having heart attacks. Millions of men's hearts will be failing them. Literal heart attacks. From this event. From what's about to take place. What's coming here to America. You see? It says that men be walking around as if they were drunk. But hadn't had anything to drink. It said children be gray-headed. It said the most tender-hearted man won't have compassion for his wife or his children. It said a woman would give birth in silence just to eat her child in the afterbirth. It said that it'd be a domino effect of bad news, instant news of hell raining down on them. It said it'd be dark without a hope, without a ray of hope or joy. Literally running into this, running into that, getting bit by that, to running this, to get clawed by that. You see? It said darkness, complete and total darkness. You see? With no hope. Nothing. No reinsurance. No, no more America. It's going to be a total economic collapse. That's what's about to take place here in America. America about to be kicked out of the Middle East when false Israel goes under siege. And they're about to be eliminated. You see? Which the world's structured around that idea. So that's their mind. It means their mind's about to be crushed. And that's why they walking around like they drunk. Because if your mind is wrapped around an idea, that's the ideology of this reality, and it's crushed, now that's that means you're insane now. That's what was keeping you balanced, keeping you sane, keeping you centered. You see? Now you off balance. Now you all discombobulated. Your reality is being crushed. And then the thing that fuels it has been snatched. You see? The blood, what you call the sister, she know how to say it. She always say it the best.
Exactly. Talking about the bloodline. Well, we have to understand that this reality is based off of oil, right? The use of oil, which is the Industrial Revolution, sisters and brothers. They were given oil to, right, to, sisters and brothers. Oil is what they have to, is what is used to, for industrial revolution, industrial reality, right? So that's just something that they need, sisters and brothers. They need it. And without it, they need diesel, they need gas, fuel, they need these things. And without it, their reality is crushed completely, sisters and brothers. Because everything requires oil, sisters and brothers. As Brother David shared, it is their bloodline, meaning like they're literally was keeping this reality pumping, right? And when that bloodline is cut, right, that means they're dying, right? So we have to understand that, excuse me, brothers, that's going to be cut. And we have to understand that their reality is going to come to a screeching halt when this event takes place, sisters and brothers. Because there's not going to be any more oil, sisters and brothers. They need oil, diesel for their trucks, transportation, sisters and brothers. For your homes, to keep your homes warm, to keep everything running. You need that oil, sisters and brothers. This is why it says going to be a total economic collapse here. Something that has never taken place, sisters and brothers. Unprecedented times. Excuse me. Is what's approaching us. A time like no other, sisters and brothers. This has never happened. And when false Israel goes down, that's what's coming here to America. A total economic collapse because they are all involved with each other, sisters and brothers. So we have to understand when they go down, America's going to be affected. And that is going to bring America to a total economic collapse. Also, a famine during this economic collapse, sisters and brothers. So it's an unprecedented time is what you're approaching right here in America, sisters and brothers. A day that has never been seen, right? A day that you can't really explain because it's never happened before, right? But the scriptures highlight certain, events that will take place to give you an idea of what's to come, right? And gives you an idea of the seriousness of the time that is approaching us, right? Famine, meaning cannibalism, is going to take place. There's not going to be any food to eat, sisters and brothers. Here in Deuteronomy, it gives you a highlight of an event that will take place during this time. Instead of her placenta which comes out from between her feet and her children whom she bears, for she will eat them secretly for the lack of everything in the siege, in desperate strait, in which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. So this is identifying that a woman will eat her own birth, right? So imagine the time that you're approaching, your brother. They've never gone without food, ever. America has never gone without anything to eat, sisters and brothers. So it's going to be so serious that a woman will eat her own birth for meat, for food. Sisters and brothers, that's how serious this time is. It also says that it will cause them to eat the flesh of their own sons and the flesh of their daughters. I mean, they're going to be eating their own children, eating each other, eating their wives, eating your husbands. Sisters and brothers, this is what's the time that you're approaching. Sisters and brothers, you have to understand that before they do that, they're going to be looking at you, right? Because, and this is why they have us in the Constitution as 3/5 of a human, because they read these scriptures, sisters and brothers. They understand this is a guide. They understand that this is what the scripture said that would take place, a famine, right? And it's giving you an idea of what's going to happen. So they say, I'm not going to eat my children. So I'm going to put these people as, classify them as food. But we know that once, we have to understand that they're not going to, the plan for them to be eating us is not going to prevail, sisters and brothers, because we are in fact preparing you and letting you know, warning you before this takes place. But we have to understand that they have other people who are going to be lost for lack of knowledge that they're going to be eating, but that's going to run out, sisters and brothers. So they're going to be eating their own children. They don't want to, but that's what they're going to be doing. Sisters and brothers, eating their animals, their dogs that they love dearly, right? They're going to be eating a time of unprecedented trouble. Sisters and brothers have to understand that. You know, you're going to see these devils in their full, who they truly are, sisters and brothers. And we've never seen that. We've never seen that, sisters and brothers. But it's important that we do see that so we can witness it. Experience is the best teacher. We need to see these devils in action, sisters and brothers, so we know that, oh, they are not, you know what I'm saying? This is not your friend. It's not somebody that you need to be next to, standing with, sisters and brothers. You need to get far away from them. Scripture tells you to flee when this event happens. Flee. That's how serious it is for you, sisters and brothers. Because they're going to be attacking you. They said don't even turn around and try to get your child. If you left him at home, you got to keep going or you're going to die. So you're going to have to make that choice. Either you're going to die, turn around, or you're going to keep pushing. Sisters and brothers, that's how serious the time is. It's about to approach us, sisters and brothers. Unprecedented times is what's coming here. A total economic collapse, sisters and brothers. You're not going to be able to call the police. Let me call and get some help. No one's going to be helping you, sisters and brothers. Everyone's going to be needing help. Everyone's going to be looking for an escape. And it says that they will have no hope, sisters and brothers. No hope, sisters and brothers. He said children will be gray-headed. We have to understand the amount of stress a child has to be under to be gray-headed. Sisters and brothers, the child will be gray-headed. And that's because it says right here that they're going to be eating the flesh of their own sons and daughters. That means them children are going to be running away from their mommies, running away from their daddies. Nowhere is going to be safe, right? So they're panicking, right? They're stressed the hell out. And the brothers have to understand that. That's how serious this time is coming. And the only way that we will prevail through this is our unity. Because the brothers, us coming together, us rising as that mighty nation. Because when false Israel goes down, they will no longer have that hand that's been holding us down, which is false Israel. That hand will no longer be because it'll be destroyed. So there won't be no more going to work. There won't be no more focus on sports. There won't be no more focus on social media. There won't be no more focus on what you know, What you gonna do for the weekend? What trip you better take? So the brother ain't gonna be no more of that because their reality is crushed immediately to the brother when that event takes place. So all your energy is gonna be focused on your survival, right? So we have to understand that that is a time where you're gonna be able to rise and think. Finally, start to think for yourself because they've been distracting you. America has been distracting you. False Israel has been distracting you, sisters and brothers, from your true vision. And once that distraction is taken away, it's going to give us the opportunity to rise, sisters and brothers, to come together, sisters and brothers. And that is our protection through the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam. Sisters and brothers, us coming together through unity. Understand that we are one body. When one fails, we all fail, sisters and brothers. We're all different parts of the body. If one part of the body is hurting, then the whole body's hurting, sisters and brothers. And that's how we're going to have to, come to understanding because, they've also taught us separation, that we should not, do for it. If you got it, you got it. Don't worry about your brother. Don't worry about your sister, right? But that's not how it should be because we're one body. And when one is hurting, we're all hurting, sisters and brothers. So that we got to understand that we're going to have to come to the point of Hajj. And that Hajj is understanding that we need each other. We need each other to be successful, sisters and brothers. And during that time, all of us, we're going to need each other, right? And that's going to be our protection through this. And also through our discipline, we got to understand that we control the atmosphere, sisters and brothers, right? And the time that's approaching is our time, right? It's the time of the spring. So all our winter weapons will not prevail. It said, no weapon formed against you will prosper because their weapons they're going to be using this winter. Weapons. We got to understand that they're not going to prosper against us. Because what? We're going to have the weapons of the spring, sisters and brothers. Like I shared through our discipline, we had to understand that we control the atmosphere around us, right? So we have to understand that we control the weather, right? And the weather is way more powerful than an atomic bomb, sisters and brothers. Way more powerful than their guns and knives that they have, sisters and brothers. We're not going to need those things because we control the weather, sisters and brothers. And once we're going to understand that. We don't understand it now, but soon, as we come together, we will. And through our discipline, that is going to be our weapons, sisters and brothers, right? So, and also during that time, once we come together, we're going to have to get our minds back. In order to move forward into the next reality, you have to have the mind that you need to move forward into the next reality. The map that you need, right? Which is the Injil, sisters and brothers. 3 books in the Injil that you're going to have to upload and understand, right? Because that is the level of thinking that you're going to need to be on to move forward into the next reality, right? Now, understanding that, sisters and brothers, you have to understand that during this time, demons will also unite. And their vision is to stay here. They're not leaving America. They want to take over America. America is their land. This is their vision. Sisters and brothers, so we have to understand you cannot get these two mixed up because the demons look like us. They talk like us, but they're not us, sisters and brothers. And our vision is to complete separation, to get out of here, the Abrahamic covenant. And if that's not what they're telling you, sisters and brothers, they are in fact your enemy. And if you do not know your enemies, you are in fact your enemy, sisters and brothers. So you have to understand that they are also going to unite. And you are going to have to choose that right side, that right body to be with, sisters and brothers, during this time. And we have to understand that those who want to stay here in America is going to be destroyed as well because America is also going to be destroyed, sisters and brothers. All right? So with that, unless Brother David had anything else to say.
Yeah, I'd like to add to what you were sharing about going home in the condition we in. Right, we can't go home in that manner. Said we were going home to a kingdom that would last forever. So in order to do that, like you said, we get our minds back. We have to have the proper mind to go back home. Right now, we have the devil's mind, which is destruction, hell. You see, havoc, chaos. If you take that home with you, I mean, you take hell with you. So you might as well just stay here and continue drowning in hell here. Because if you go home, then you'll make a kingdom that will last forever into a hell that will last forever. So that's the whole point of this tribulations. That's the whole point of us being here. Like you said, experience is our best teacher, which is going to show you who you are, who they are. You're going to see mathematics up close. You're going to realize that you are the gods. You'll be able to gain that control, that discipline, and that unity, and you get to see this thing go off, and you have full control. I said, control the weather, all these things, right? You're going to witness all these things. You're going to see just how powerful we really are, and you're going to witness it right up close. So that's what we'll be here. We'll be right here, front row. You see, and it's like when something's not ready, right? You got to put it back in to get so it can be done. So that's what we'll be. We'll be here, finishing up the process. It's a purification for us, brothers and sisters. You know, why would somebody put you back in the fire? Because it's not intended to hurt you. It's intended to make you better, to purify you, to get off the impurities, to make you better. So it's not a punishment. It's not a curse. It's a trial to get you prepared for godhood, to get you prepared to receive your covenant, to receive your reward. You see? So you go home with the right thinking. Because you have to do, when you get home, you have to do for self. You have to make your own paradise. You have to be the God. Because that's where we're going. The spring requires you to be in that mode. You got to be a God. No one tells you what to do. You know what to do. You know where you fit in at. And you make things happen. You don't walk around asking, what do I do? Well, that means I had to stop doing what I'm doing to help you. Well, how does that help me? That means now I'm being interfered. You see? And that's not how we operate. Everyone knows what to do. And from that process, everyone benefits from the abilities of the people. So, you see, we work as a team, work as a body, and we benefit and enjoy from everyone making their own paradise. You see? So that's where we headed, brothers and sisters. We're headed to Godhood. We're headed to a paradise that lasts forever. And you have to have your God mind in this trial, which is the tribulations, is a test to make sure that you're 100%, make sure you're purified and ready to go into this next reality, and to show you that you are the God, that you are in control, that we are one body, that and that they can't do, and no one gets away with what they did to our nation, to our sisters, mothers, daughters. You see? So we have to prove our point, make our mark, good advertisement. That way no one ever tests us again, to put that fear of God in them. You see? So that's what it is, brothers and sisters. That's all I had to share, sister.
Yes, sir. Okay, brother. All right. With that, we're going to bring this session to a close, and we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.